Now, in order to double it in 2 years, you must double the teachers and workers. Where do I get them? We'll address it in just a moment. Now, let's move to the second area of this session, if we can, for just a minute. The second area is enrollment. I'm going to talk, and I'll be very brief in this because we need to address it. Where do I get the enrollment? Can I tell you that's the easiest part of building a Sunday school? The easiest part of building a Sunday school class is getting the enrollment. Let me introduce to you a little phrase called the dry class. The dry class. A dry class would be, let's call it 6th grade girls. And a Sunday school teacher gets a roll book and gets a classroom or a class space, and they've got 6th grade girls, but they have no one on roll. And, well, who's going to attend? They got to go get their enrollment. It's a dry class. Can I tell you that that teacher, just concentrating and praying on that area and going to work on that area, before you know it, by what? Visiting schools, getting to know one child that's in that area, one girl that's in that area, and then getting to know her friends, and then expanding out and making contacts. In a few months, all of a sudden, there's going to be 10 or 15 prospects. It's just going to work. But I want to talk about another area of enrollment. I want to talk about enrolling, put on your thinking hat, enrolling from the feeder. Enrollment from the feeder. We train in Operation Go. A soul winning director within the local church is going to train his soul winners when he leads somebody to Christ. They're going to instantly fill out a little slip on that family, on that person. For instance, going into a home. And the soul winners win a whole family to Christ. Maybe it's a man and his wife, maybe it's a teenage son, and maybe a 3rd grade child. So they're going to win all 4 of them to Christ. Watch. They're going to put on a slip their name, their address, their telephone number, and then they're going to put the name, first name of the dad, first name of the mom. They're going to put the name of the teenager and grade, the name of the child and grade. See, all of that's on that slip. Now, what we encourage them to do, let me be stronger, what we train them to do, what they should do very simply is this: they bring that slip to the church that night if possible. And there's a little mailbox set up where they can drop it in. I want to tell you, this happened every day in church number 2 that we were able to start in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I'm going to tell you, our people function in this, and it caused explosive growth. And these slips were brought in and put inside of this little mail drop box. Now, the next morning, you don't have to have paid staff. The next morning, we had ladies. We had a team of 3 ladies that would come by in the morning, and they would alternate, and they would come by and take the slips out of the mailbox, and guess what they did with them? Add them to the Sunday school roll instantly. Add them to the Sunday school roll instantly. Now, what would that do? What that would mean is that if you were teaching teenagers, if that was your prospect, you would have a new teen on your roll by Tuesday morning if this family was one on Monday night. Then we would contact the home on Tuesday. If they were not there, then we'd leave. We'd say, hey, come by the church, by your mailbox. You have a mailbox in the church for every Sunday school teacher and worker. You got that? We have a mailbox there. Hey, with the use of computer and email, with the use of voicemail, think of what could be done. This was in the early 80s. Think of what could be done and how quickly, efficiently this could be done. Your job is to organize so these enrollments flow onto the roll and the teacher knows it instantly. Now, the job of the Sunday school teacher, the senior high, junior high worker, is to go into that home before the next Sunday. Watch the flow. Soul winners go into the home one night, Monday night. They win the people to Christ. They fill out the slip. That night, they go in the mail drop. The next morning, they're added to the class roll. The teacher knows this. They're on the master Sunday school roll in the database. The teacher is contacted. They know this by that night. And before Sunday, they drop by the home. We had this to happen. Can you imagine? A couple come to the home and knocking on the door, and Dad and Mom come to the door. Hey, we came by to let you know that we are your Bible study unit leaders. We have the Bible study for adults. We've got a social coming up, and so time. We want you to meet with us. We want you to be in class. Now watch, they're not after the teenager. They're not after the child. What they're after is that dad and mom. Now, they get another visit. And the visit is from the teenage teacher, worker. And they come by and say, hey, is Bill home? Here's the parents knowing that same church is interested in their teenager. The same church is interested in that young person. Boy, that's exciting. And then they get a visit also the same week for somebody that's after that third grade girl to get them in the Bible study unit. I want to tell you what, now we train the soul winners to come over to the Sunday school teachers and thank them for helping them doing their job. That's very important. Because the job of the soul winner is to win them and get them in church and get them baptized, study the soul winning, understand what God teaches us and what we call the Great Commission. His job is to do the whole thing. So the Sunday school worker over here is helping the soul winner, and really the church is working together like this, and that's the way people ought to work. That's the way it ought to function together. So one of the main places to get our enrollment is from, we'll talk about it later, in a later session, big days and promotions. It also is for the teacher to be innovative, to go out, get the prospects, himself, herself, visit the class, get their friends list. All of these things can be done. We know to do these things. But one of the key things to do instantly is let the soul winning thrust of the church instantly put them on the roll and have the teacher to follow them up.